All right, welcome to lesson 102, mass and weight. We are going to get started on page 533 with our mental math. So just do the math in your head, write it out, but just follow along and I will give you the answers momentarily. Just pause the video to work on them. So letter A is 30 times 400. What is 30 times 400? That's 12,000. Letter B, 462 plus 150. 462 plus 150. That's 612. Letter C, 50% of 40. What is 50% of 40? The answer is 20. Letter D, $100 minus $47.50. What is $100 minus $47.50? The answer is $52.50. All right, letter E, 0.06 or 600ths times 100. So it is 600ths times 100. And the answer is 6. I say this every time, but remember with these, you're just moving your decimal to the right for however many zeros there are. So we move our decimal over 2 places and we end up with 6. Letter F, 50 times 15. What is 50 times 15? It is 750. Letter G, how many pints are in 4 quarts? How many pints are in 4 quarts? And the answer is 8 pints. And we know that because there are 2 pints in 1 quart. So 2 times 4 gives us 8. And then letter H, we have 12 plus 12 plus 1. Find the square root, times 3 plus 1. Find the square root, times 2 plus 2 times 5. All right, so you should have gotten 50. All right, so good job with those. And we are just going to jump right into our mass and weight lesson. So today we're going to be able to identify and convert units of mass in the metric system, identify and convert units of weight in the US customary system. So that's what we use for our types of measures. And then add and subtract in in pounds and ounces. So the first thing we're going to look at is mass. What mass is, it's the amount of matter in an object, the amount of matter in an object. So mass doesn't change for an object no matter where it is. So this grain of salt, for example, will have the same mass whether it's on the surface of the earth or on the surface of the moon or just in the vacuum of space. And the reason I even say that is because mass is different from weight. So mass is the same no matter where the object is, whereas weight will change depending on where the object is. So mass is measured in milligrams, grams, kilograms. Basically any type of a gram is how we measure mass. And if you recall, these units of measure are part of the metric system. These are part of the metric system. So we're going to look at a few different examples of the mass of objects. A grain of salt has a mass of 1 milligram, or mg. A paperclip is about 1 gram, and a book we'll say is 1 kilogram. Okay, so that's mass, not weight. And then you'll need to know these ways to convert between the different units of measure for mass. So 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. So 1,000 grains of salt would be the same mass as a paperclip. Just remember when we talk about the metric system, the changes in metric system are usually changes by powers of 10. So to convert, say we had 2,000 milligrams, that would be 2 grams. So it's sort of like how we convert from like centimeters to meters, all right, or millimeters to meters. And then you also need to know that it takes 1,000 grams to equal 1 kilogram. So 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram, 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So make sure you write these down and you know these conversions. All right, next we're going to look at weight. So mass is the amount of matter in an object. Weight is the force of gravity on an object. So that's why it changes depending on where you are. On Earth, there is a certain gravity here. On the moon, there's much less force of gravity, so your weight would be different. It would be easier for you to jump into the air or to run. If you were in the vacuum of space, there would be no force of gravity, so you'd be you would be weightless. So that's how astronauts like in the International Space Station can sort of just float around. There's no force of gravity on them. So when we look at weight, what we're going to be looking at is something called the U.S. Customary System. And that's what we use for like units of measure. Sometimes we'll say inches, yards, miles. That's the U.S. Customary System. And we're going to use that today to measure different types of weight. So we have ounces, pounds, and tons. And those are all familiar types of measure. So, for example, we have an envelope and a letter, and we're going to say that's about 1 ounce. A shoe we'll say is 1 pound. And a car we'll say is 1 ton. Now the units, the conversion units for weight are going to be a little different than they are for mass. They're not going to be as nice and neat. So 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So it's not nice. It's not like just multiply 16 by 10 and you get how many pounds it is. It's very different. And then 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. So this is how we're going to figure out, say we had something that weighed 3 pounds and we wanted to know how many ounces it was. We would have to do 3 pounds times 16 ounces in order to get that conversion there. So it's not as nice and neat as like, oh, how many milligrams are in 3 grams? And we would just say 3,000. All right, so you have to multiply a little differently. All right, so make sure you write these down and you commit them to memory if they're not already. And we are just going to get started with some examples. Example 1, 2 kilograms is how many grams? 2 kilograms is how many grams? Well, 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So 2 kilograms would equal 2,000 grams. 2,000 grams. All right, so that's as simple as that. We're just said to get from 1 to 2, we multiplied by 2. So we're going to get 1,000 to our answer by multiplying that by 2. Next, in example 2, we are going to look at adding some pounds and ounces together. So let's look at our first example, adding. So let's go to our rightmost column, 12 ounces plus 6 ounces. That's going to be 18 ounces. And then let's look at our pounds. 7 plus 9. I always do that. 7 plus 2 is going to be 9 pounds. But you'll notice here that our ounces is above 16. Now, remember there are 16 ounces per pound. So because this is above 16, what we're going to want to do is we're going to change this into 1 pound and 2 ounces. Okay? Because 16 ounces is 1 pound and 2 ounces. And then we'll just add that to our other set of pounds. So it's going to be 10 pounds and 2 ounces. All right, so that's how you can add some pounds and ounces together. You just have to remember that 16 ounces equals 1 pound. And we're going to practice this in our practice set, so don't worry about that. Letter B, subtracting. Now, in the same way, we're going to start at our right column, but we can't do 10 ounces minus 12 ounces. So what we're going to do is from our pounds column, we're going to borrow 1 pound, and we're going to add it over here as ounces. This is sort of like when we add mixed numbers. Okay, so now instead of 10 ounces, and I'll just rewrite this, we have 8 pounds, 26 ounces, minus 7 pounds and 12 ounces. So let's carry on with our subtraction. We have 26 minus 12, that's 14 ounces. And then 8 pounds minus 7 pounds is 1 pound. All right, so remember to do this one, you just borrow from your pounds column and convert that into its ounce measure. So 16 ounces equals 1 pound. All right, so that was pretty quick. Hopefully that was not too quick. But we're going to look at our practice set, so just take a few moments to do A through E on page 535, A through E. Pause the video, work on that, and then come back so we can go over those problems. All right, we'll start with letter A. Half of a kilogram is how many grams? Half of a kilogram is how many grams? So remember, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, so half a kilogram will be 500 grams. Letter B, the mass of a liter of water is 1 kilogram. So the mass of 2 liters of the beverage is about how many grams? So 1 liter, let's just write it out, equals 1 kilogram. So 2 liters equals 2 kilograms. But then the question says, how many grams is that? So it's going to be 2,000 grams. So you have to look back or remember that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Next, letter C, we're going to add our columns. 5 pounds and 10 ounces plus 1 pound and 9 ounces is going to be 7 pounds and 3 ounces. Let's go over that one really quickly just for those who might still be confused by how to do this. All right, so it would be 19 ounces, 6 pounds, but 19 is too high. It's too many ounces. We're going to break it down into 1 pound and 3 ounces. Why? Because we subtracted 16 ounces. We subtracted that 1 pound, and we would have been left with 3 ounces. Okay, so then add that to your original. So 6 pounds plus 1 pound and 3 ounces is 7 pounds and 3 ounces. Letter D, you had to borrow a pound from the pounds column and add it to your ounces, and you would have gotten 2 pounds and 14 ounces. So if you need help with that one, let's pull that out over here. 9 pounds, 8 ounces minus 6 pounds, 10 ounces. So we borrow a pound, which means we're going to add 16 ounces to this. And then we subtract 24 minus 10 is 14. 8 minus 6 is 2. And letter E, a half-ton pickup truck can haul a half-ton load. Half of a ton is how many pounds? So remember, a full ton is 2,000 pounds, so half a ton will be 1,000 pounds. All right. So great job on that. I know that was really quick, pretty simple lesson, but if you need any help, please let me know. And your homework is on page 535, 3 through 7, 9 through 13, 19, 20, 23 through 25, and 28. And just remember, you can always look at your homework assignments either on GradeLink or on Google Classroom instead of waiting until the end of the lesson. So, all right, I hope you guys are doing well, and let me know if you need any help with this.